would like to welcome you to Richard and Angela's first virtual cooking class. Yay! So we've decided that we are going to do the summer of salads. So each month...
Who doesn't like salad?
Who doesn't like salad? So each month, we're going to pick a new type of fancy salad, and we're going to walk you through how to cook it. Sound good? So come on into our kitchen, and we're going to get started.
Milestone's Kitchen.
Milestone's Kitchen. Thank you to Milestones for being so generous to let us use their kitchen. Okay, so today we are going to make a simple pasta salad. It's fairly easy to do, it is fairly cheap to do, and it's perfect for the hot weather that we're having right now. So these are the ingredients. You want to pick any type of pasta. So Richard and I chose the Bistro Rotini pasta, but really any kind of pasta that you have in your cupboard or that's on sale at the store would do. We're going to throw some vegetables in. So we have picked some peppers, cucumbers. Cucumbers are great because they are very easy to prepare and they're very reasonably priced. And broccoli. But what would be some other suggestions of vegetables that we could throw in? Richard?
I'd possibly throw in some cherry tomatoes, some onions, maybe some kale if you're a big kale fan. Yeah, it's pretty much endless. It's whatever you like, right? Typically, you want stuff that stays a little harder. Anything soggier might get mushy in there for a long time. So if you're not going to eat all your pasta salad right after you eat it, you might want to think about that. But really, the possibilities are endless. Use your imagination on what you like. You know what you like. So.
We've also picked some cheese. Now, Richard and I are both big fans of the Bothwell cheddar.
Well, they make a fine cheddar, the Bothwell.
Yep, fine cheese. This is marbled cheese, marbled cheddar. So we're going to cube that up. And then for our dressing, we picked something simple. So today we are just going to be using Italian dressing. But really with a pasta salad, you can throw whatever you want on it. So you can buy packaged mixes where you add a little bit of oil and vinegar and use that. You can make your own from scratch using whatever vinegar, balsamic vinegar, oil, some seasonings. But for today, just to keep it simple, we're going to use Italian dressing. Okay, so here are our ingredients. This is the kitchen that we're going to be working with. First thing before we get started ever with cooking classes is we need to wash our hands.
Right, and that goes for pretty much all aspects of life right now. Before you do anything, wash your hands, right?
Yes.
Whether it's going outside or coming back inside or
Absolutely.
anything at all, wash your hands. See, Angela's
I believe it's
using-
been 30 seconds. My hands are nice and clean.
Yeah.
Okay, we are using paper towels right now to avoid transferring anything. Instead of washing or drying our hands with the tea towels, I'll let Richard come and wash.
All right. Hot water is always better for washing, but not too hot to burn yourself. Be safe. You can even sing a little song while you're doing this if you like. Some people like the ABCs. I don't, so I'm not going to sing. So then you rinse all of the soap off.
All right. I think we've all had enough of watching Richard wash his hands.
Oh no, it's entertainment. All right. There you go.
Okay, so step number one with pasta salad is we need to cook our pasta. So any kind of box or pasta that you have will have instructions on the back. The first thing we need to do is boil our water. So we already filled up our water, we pre-boiled it a little bit. It just needs a little bit longer. So we're gonna turn the oven on to max. Whenever you boil water, you want it on nice and hot.
This is one of the few things you can cook at max. You're not going to burn water, right?
Yep.
Typically cooking at max is really tricky. You're more likely to burn something you're frying or something like that.
When you're boiling water, a lot of people add a little bit of salt. Because we're very resourceful here at Milestones and we are conveniently located next to a McDonald's, we have realized that people here like to save the salts from McDonald's. So we are going to use these little packages to help our water come along. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's already starting to make a boiling sound. So maybe Joe will come a bit closer so he can show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so we're getting close. We're just going to put these there. Maybe while we're waiting a few more minutes for it to boil a little bit more, Richard can open up some of the vegetables and show people how to give them a wash.
Certainly. Maybe we'll start with the cucumber. So your cucumber often comes in a plastic coating to keep it safe and not to get bruised up and things like that. Anyway, so you just kind of rip it open, peel it off as best you can. You don't want any plastic left on it. Plastic is not a good thing to eat. And it doesn't always come off as nicely as you'd hope. But that's the way it is. Alright, so in the garbage, and then you just want to wash your cucumber. Give it a good rinse, kind of rub it with your hand, right? Make sure there's nothing stuck to it. Alright, and then we can start cutting it. So, for this type of salad, you can cut it either in rings or even dice them even further. Cut the end off. If you wanted to blanch your cucumber, getting a little fancier here, you take the end of it, kind of hold it down, and you just rub it like this. And it gets kind of the bitterness out of your cucumber. I just learned this recently, actually. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. So your cucumber's fine anyway, so I'm just going to cut them into circles. Always be careful with the knife, right? You don't want to cut your finger off. Not a good thing. In case you didn't know.
Okay, I think our water is pretty much good to go. The pots get really, really hot, so hopefully you're working with a pot that has handles that you can touch here. You don't want to touch this because it's going to be quite hot. So once your water is boiling, you're going to hear it and you're going to see a lot of bubbles. We're just going to open our box of pasta and we're going to put it in. Okay. We're going to make 2 boxes today. So we've got a lot of water. So depending on how much you're making, you would never use a big pot with all this water if you're just making like 1 or 2 portions, right? So you kind of have to figure out how much water you're going to need for your pasta. All right, so some people are very meticulous with their timing when it comes to things with their cooking. I am terrible at that kind of stuff. I never set timers for anything. I just kind of watch and I just have an idea, and sometimes I'll do a taste test of when I think things are ready. But for this demonstration purpose, we will set a timer and we will make sure that we do it properly. All right, so it says, boil uncovered for 7 minutes, stirring occasionally. And if you want it to be a little bit more tender, so a little bit more soft, then you might add 1 more minute to that. Okay, so our time is 1:40, so around 1:47, 1:48, we're going to turn the stove off and we're going to strain it. So I'm just going to give it a quick stir. Sometimes when you're cooking pasta, it can get, especially if you're doing large amounts, it can get a bit sticky and sometimes it'll get stuck to the bottom. So it's always good to make sure that you've got a big long spoon that you can stir regularly. Otherwise it'll get all sticky and stuck. Okay. Okay, so while we are waiting for our pasta to cook, we're gonna continue on with the preparation of our vegetables.
Alright, so I was showing you guys, I sliced them into circles. I decided that's too big. So I'm cutting them into quarters now. So what you can do is you can stack a few, cut them in half, cut them in half again. If you were thinking ahead like I should have, you should have cut your cucumber in half, cut it in half again, and slice them like that. So a couple options there. Finish up these cucumbers and we'll start chopping some other veggies. Alright, and then I'm just going to move them onto a different extra cutting board we got. So you can always just use a plate or something to put all your chopped ingredients to keep them separate. And because they're all vegetables, we can use the same cutting board for it. If you're using a meat or something, cutting a raw meat, you want to use a separate cutting board for that sort of thing. Why don't we go into some peppers next?
While Richard's opening the peppers, I'm gonna take our boxes and recycle them.
Very responsible,
Yeah.
Angela. Alright, so peppers, very basic to wash peppers. Just kind of rinse them off just like the cucumbers. Look for any stickers. Sometimes they got stickers on them. I believe the stickers are edible, but I wouldn't want to eat them anyway if I didn't have to. So give them a rinse. Wipe with your hand a bit. Alright, so we got our 3 very colorful peppers here. So the way I cut peppers is I kind of put it at the middle, chop it straight down. You're going to see you have some seeds in there. You typically don't want seeds in your pasta salad. So I very carefully carve out the middle. This is where you want to be very careful. It's easy to cut yourself doing this. Cut it out like that. Pull it out like that. Go over to the garbage, kind of whack all the seeds out. Alright, and then peppers are generally fairly easy to cut, so you can cut them kind of just straight. Down. We want them fairly small, I'd say, for this, kind of maybe about 1/2 inch or so. Make little squares, little rectangles out of them. You cut them that way or you cut them this way. Either way is fine. Whatever you like to do with them.
Okay, so we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left on our pasta, so I'm gonna start on our cheese. So like we said, you can pick any kind of cheese to throw in a pasta salad. One of my favorites is a feta cheese, but not everybody likes that. So today we've chosen Marble, Bothwell. It's pretty thick. I'm gonna start by cutting it in half. Cutting it in half again, and we are just going to cube it into small little squares, right? We want to cube it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Be very careful, obviously, whenever you're using big sharp knives like this. So sometimes when you're cutting cheese, it'll get stuck to the end, so you just want to be extra cautious. How we doing, Joe?
Thumbs up.
Any suggestions? Anything you want to add?
Oh, it's looking great. I'm excited.
We're getting Joe's approval, that's a
Yep.
good thing.
Yep. I can already taste it. This makes a great addition to a barbecue as well.
It does. Throw some smokies on the barbecue and you're good to go.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna check our pasta and give it another stir. You can start to, when you're stirring, you can start to feel that it's cooking because the noodles will get softer. So when you first pour in the noodles, they'll be still quite hard and you can tell by the way the spoon hits them, but as you get going, they'll soften up. So they are coming along quite nicely. A few more minutes. So we've got a big bowl here, it's just drying a little bit. I gave it a quick wash because we haven't used this kitchen for quite a while, so things are a little bit dusty.
Yep.
So once you start having all your vegetables and your cheese and stuff, you can throw everything into the bowl. Sometimes when I make pasta salads, I like to put the dressing on the vegetables a little bit earlier and let it marinate a little bit for more flavor. The good thing about a pasta salad is the longer it sits, the better it tastes. And like Richard said, if you're choosing vegetables that are a little bit harder, it'll last longer, it won't get as soggy in the fridge, so it's a really good thing to make big portions of because it'll save for a few days. Maybe I'll get you to strain it if you can when it's ready.
Yep. Still boiling. It's still quite hard. You can feel it being quite hard, so it's not ready yet. But it usually takes about 10 minutes, I'd say, to cook a pasta. About. Like Angela, I never use timers either, so I just kind of cook it till it's edible.
Yep.
If it's crunchy, it should boil longer. That's my
Underdone.
rule in the kitchen.
Too al dente.
Too al dente. There you go.
I feel like al dente pasta is really good when you're having it hot with like a nice sauce, then it's good. But when you're having it as a pasta salad, you want it to be cooked pretty soft.
I agree.
I made a bit of a mess over here.
Right.
I like to clean kitchens as I go, which can annoy a lot of people because as I'm done with something, I need it out of the way.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are not like that, but I'm a little bit like that. So I like to tidy things up as we go. Okay.
All right.
Probably don't need to do
Probably
this
not.
other one
Okay.
here.
We're also going to cut up some broccoli in there. So washing broccoli is the same as washing all your other vegetables, but there's a, so just kind of give it a good rinse, broccoli. Try and get it through everything, especially the top. All right, so there's different ways you can cut broccoli. You can cut it like along the stalk like this. And depending on what you're doing with it, you know, you might cut it in half, or you might cut it into smaller pieces. Myself, when I'm doing a pasta salad, I like pretty small pieces of my broccoli, so I'll even start over here. I'll just cut it small like this. And you can see it kind of branches out into really tiny little trees. So,
I think the technical name is florets.
Tiny florets. That's a better word than broccoli trees. So broccoli florets is what you're looking for. So do this. Yeah, and they're nice little bite-sized pieces that go in your broccoli, or in your broccoli in your pasta salad. Look for any really big pieces. Chop them up that way.
Okay. Our timer says 1:49. We put it in at 1:40. It said 7 or 8 minutes. I think it's pretty much done. I think we are good to go. So I'm going to turn the stove off. A lot of people get so distracted when they're cooking they forget to do that. In fact, I came home the other day. My daughter's at home on her own right now and she's making her own lunches and came home and I guess she had made, I don't know, something on the stove, some eggs I think, and she'd forgotten to turn her element off. So she's very lucky nothing happened. But we did have a gentle talk about it after. or anything that comes in like a big pot like this, you need to be really careful because the steam is one of the worst kind of burns that you can have. And sometimes when you're holding it over a sink or a strainer or something like that, it'll come up in your face and you won't realize it. So you have to be very careful. This pot's going to be a little bit heavy, so I'm going to ask Richard to strain it.
All right, we'll be right there. All right, I'll just rinse my hands off with all the broccoli florets. Okay. All right, so a hot pot, what should you use? Oven mitts. If you like your hands and your skin.
Right?
All right. So just grab it like so, carefully carry it over to the sink. So we have our colander set up already. Carefully pour everything in
Will it
it.
fit in that one, or do you need another one?
I think we're good. All right, and there you have it.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good, nice colorful, oh, see? Only a few bits in there that we didn't get, but we'll probably scrape them out and make them
Pretty
part of our salad. All right. And then don't put it back on the hot element if you're gonna put it there. Put it on a different element. It will cool off faster.
Okay, so after you strain pasta, usually you want to give it a little bit of a shake. Oh, my glasses are falling out. Thank you, Richard. If you're serving it hot, like with a sauce, you want to serve it pretty quickly, otherwise it's going to start to stick together. Sometimes you can add a little bit of olive oil and that'll help it stay separated. For us though, we're making a pasta salad, so we want it cold. So we can let it cool down a little bit here. It's okay if it gets a bit sticky. We'll rinse some cold water over it later when we're ready to add it into our bowl.
All right, I need to step away for a moment.
Okay. So we're just going to leave that there. You can give it a stir a little bit when you're making large portions. Sometimes there's still some water stuck in between. Just give it a quick stir. Gentle though, because as you start to handle it too much, the pasta will kind of fall apart. Okay, so we're just going to leave that for a bit. Let it cool down. And we will come back to our table here. We're going to start to assemble our salad. Okay. So our dressing.
What type of dressing is that?
So we chose just a zesty Italian dressing, but you could do like a balsamic vinaigrette. You can buy one of those like pasta salad mixes, so it has all the spices and you just add some oil and vinegar usually. One of my favorite homemade dressings, which I do a lot, is Dijon mustard, diced garlic, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. Something like that. Something like that. Anyways, it's
Sounds
really, really
good.
good. Okay. So we are going to start adding we got a lot of vegetables here. So we're just going to slide them all in. These little cutting boards are handy because they're bendy. So you can just kind of shake things in there. So I don't like the stems in my broccoli, so I noticed Richard kept them in there, which is okay, but I'm just gonna put a couple to the side here. Maybe just chop this one up a tiny bit. As most of you probably know, I'm a little bit particular when it comes to certain things. So sometimes cooking with other people could be a challenge, but he's coming back. Okay. You did a great job cutting this
All
out.
right,
Okay.
doing a good job there,
Yeah,
Angela.
yeah, thank you.
You're looking like a fine pasta salad.
Okay. So we'll start with that because I've got a lot. We will add in our cheese. Actually, no, I'm going to leave the cheese for a little bit. We don't want cheese to get too soggy, so maybe we'll start with adding, do you want to add in our dressing? I'll get a new spoon.
Alright, always take this off.
Oh, sorry.
Often you'll try and squeeze, it's not coming out what's going on. It's because you gotta take this lid thing off. Pro chef tip right there.
Yep.
Give it a little shake. This Italian dressing you want to shake, otherwise all the good seasoning settles at the bottom and you just got a bunch of oil. Who wants that, right? So, I don't know, I'm not big on measuring things. I like to put a whole bunch in there, right? Till it splats everywhere, it makes a big mess. Just for fun. And you can see it's looking okay, it's a little oily. I don't think that's enough. So I'm gonna put a little more in there. Like so. So you see we use about half of a bottle of the salad dressing so far. Gotta mix it up good. You want your dressing over everything, right? I think that's enough for the veggies for now. Should I add the cheese now, Angela? Or
Sure,
do you think the
yeah.
cheese should be the last thing? Well, then we'll add the cheese.
You can add a little bit, sure.
Alright, so I will add the cheese in.
I just poured some cold water over our pasta and I'm giving it a stir.
Alright,
And that-
well, go ahead,
sorry.
Angela, go ahead.
Another option is to put your pasta in the fridge for a little bit and let it cool that way too. If you don't want to mix your salad up right away. But like I said, and I think Richard said too, pasta salads are much more tasty if you let them sit in the dressing for a while.
Right, then I will add some cheese now. When I've made pasta salads before, I've added my cheese to the noodles before they were very cold and your cheese melts in there, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you lose your nice, symmetrical, perfect cubes that Angela cut, spent all that time cutting, right? So. Alright, same thing, add your cheese in, you're gonna stir it up. Looking pretty good. I'm getting hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I think this is cool enough that we can start adding our pasta. Okay. Should I just pour it in?
Yep, pour it in,
More and more?
Ash. Maybe, yeah. Pour in as we go. Oh, yeah, I think we can.
All of it?
I'd say all of it, yeah.
Okay.
All
Oh,
of it.
what
look
a
at
perfect
that.
size
Oh,
bowl.
it's like we planned this out and measured or
How
something.
professional this is.
Well, we're just natural chefs. That's how it is.
Obviously.
It comes with the hat.
Because of the hat. The hat gives you superpowers. So I suggest you go out and buy a chef's hat if you're looking to do a lot of cooking in the future.
I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese.
Yes, you can never have too much cheese. That's another
I
pro
agree.
chef tip.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, pasta salad, you really can't go wrong. Whatever ingredients you like, throw them in. I know I like onion in my pasta salad. Maybe some red onion. Those adds a little crispness, a little sharpness to it.
I do not like onion, so Richard was kind enough to
Yeah.
allow us to leave that out.
I also suggest carrots. I enjoy carrots in my pasta salad as well.
Yeah, so it's really good because even if you don't have time to go shopping, very often most people have got some kind of pasta in their cupboard. Usually some kind of salad dressing, and whatever vegetables you have, you can just add in. Okay.
Sometimes I clean out the fridge exercise for myself. I'm like, what kind of vegetables are about to go bad? I better chop them up and do something with them. Well, I'll make a pasta
I'm gonna
salad,
add a
right?
little bit more.
Sure.
Give it one more good stir. And then it should be good to go. We'll let it sit for a little bit. And then we're gonna portion it up. So we've got a whole bunch of little take-home containers. We've got a lot of folks right now who are meeting us at, oh, here they are, meeting us at work sites or coming into program just to be able to go out and do some of their work experience opportunities. So we're going to portion these up and give them out to those folks tomorrow or early next week so that they can have a meal. So you can add a little bit of salt and pepper if you guys want to this. It's up to you. I'm a huge pepper fan, so I usually go to town on pepper. But not everyone likes it, so we'll just leave it out for now, but feel free to add to it.
I like a lot of chili flakes on mine. I like a little bit of spice, but since I've had kids, I'm not allowed to put chili flakes on things anymore. But one day I will have chili flakes.
Okay. What do you think, Richard?
I think it looks delicious.
I think it looks really, really good.
All right, so I say we eat as much as we can, and whatever's left over, we're gonna dole out to other people.
Okay. So there you go. Your first summer salad edition #1 complete. So we're going to be posting this video in a week or two. We're hoping that some of you folks from home are going to be interested in having some of the ingredients dropped off to you. So we're going to portion it all up into individual packages. We're going to send it with the staff when they bring bus passes to you guys. And you guys, we can either message you and go through this live again, or you can watch the video when it's a convenient time for you, so you can cook alongside with us. So thank you for joining us. We are going to clean up the kitchen now because that's also a big part of doing a cooking class, is making sure we tidy everything up and sanitize things after. And we hope you guys enjoy our summer salad pasta salad.
All right, enjoy everybody. Thanks a lot.